Hi, I'm Jason and welcome to Down the Shed. In this video we're going to build an FM transmitter. This is capable of audio, it has its own microphone, and it's also got an MP3 input. So here's the finished product. I have modified it by adding an antenna. It was basically supposed to have a meter length of wire. Find the camera. But yeah, this is the put in this hand. So this is the finished product. It does work. They're not brilliant. You get a lot of interference, but it does work. And I've only put 3 volts for it. You can go up to 6, I think, and we might try that at some point with one of the buck boosters. Because apparently the higher the voltage, and 3 to 6 is the suggested range. The higher the voltage, the longer the transmission. So without further ado, let's get on and build this FM transmitter then. So I think we'll start with, we've got a bunch of 10k resistors. We've got a couple more around the board. It's not very well silk screened, but it just gives you the values. So there's a bunch of resistors over here, so I'll just check them all. We're going to do that by using this component tester. So this is KK mode Banggood jobbing. But you'll see that. So let's get these resistors checked and crack on. So we've tested all the resistors using the Banggood or KK Moon, whichever component tester. So we've got all our 10Ks, our 470 and our 27 sorted. So we'll start populating some of these. Zoom in a bit. So I'll just slot some of these 10Ks in. So that's all the 10Ks placed on the board. And now they're all blue tacked in place. Right, I'll just tack one leg of each. If they're not sat properly, we can adjust them. Just get our little homemade extraction fan. Well, I should be able to remove the blue tack now and check each one of these is seated in place properly. There we go, one side popping out, it doesn't hurt. Just pop it back in. So we can pretty much snip the soldered leg. Let's get the other ones on and then I'll deal with that. Keep your iron clean. That one can do with dipping in a bit. So heat it and melt it before you push, you don't want to damage the pad. Righty-o-dy. So we'll put this inductor in next. So what was this? This was a 20.13 microhenry, I believe. So we'll put that in. That appears to be a brown, green, brown, silver. Right, so that could be a bit. Stop think. Yeah, there it is, 470 down the bottom. Yep, 26.86. So that's our 27k there. And the 470. So they're pretty much going to sit in place. Happy days. So that's all the resistors and the inductor in.
Right, we'll start with some of these capacitors. So in no particular order, we'll just start grabbing them out. So this is a 104, so that's one there. These are all ceramics. This is a 10. 104, there we go. So that's over here. So that's two 104s and a 10 ohm capacitors. Well, that's 101. So I'm going that between those resistors. This is 103. That can go in here. So we'll paste these down and heat the leg and the pad. Use the solder. Hold it in place for a second, just like that. So next, carrying on with capacitors. Minus 33. That goes in there. Get bingo. That's 10. 101. Put that one in there first. Let's pop this other 101 in behind that blue tack. So that's both 101s in. So 102. So that one's going in here. 33. That goes down there. So I've got 101s missing. Oh, hang on. 33. That's the 33. That goes in here. Right, that is a 101. Looks like 1010. So okay, there's obviously been a printing error on that one. That's why we left it to last. So that's all the caps in. I'll finish blue tacking these down, and then we'll spin the board over and get some solder down. Just dab away. If you get any sticky bits left behind, just dab away. Great thing about blue tack. So that's all the resistors and all the ceramic capacitors in place. Right, as you can see from the board, I've added the two transistors. They're 9018s. Just remember to get the flat side of the transistor with the flat side on the silk screen, and the rounded side with the rounded side of the silk screen. You can get them back to front. I think it's the base and the emitter you get back to front. So yeah, important you get those right. So 1 minute. So that's the soldered side of the board so far. So we've got a few more components to put in. So we'll crack on with those tomorrow, I think. I'm editing the video as I go along on this one. So we'll leave it there for tonight. So yeah, going well. So that's pretty much the parts bin. So what can we see? We've got an 8-turn coil. I think that's adjustable for frequency. We've got a couple of smaller coils. That's the jack between microphone and audio input, which is that there. Capacitor times 2. I'm going to convert it to take the aerial for the antenna. Little switch there, battery pack, rising clamp. So a few things left to do.
Okay, so if you're seeing me here, then unfortunately I've missed a bit of video where I put the 4.5 to 5.5 turns. Let's see if we can get this on the screen. So I think we've got 4.5 turn coil there, 5.5 turn coil there. I put the other coil in, the two capacitors, which are 470 UF, and I think that's, yeah, it might be a 1 UF, I can see it now. Yeah, so we've got a 1 UF capacitor next to the electret or condenser microphone. We've got the 470 capacitor here, the rising clamp, 3.5mm jack, the LED, and the two coils. I've also put the antenna on, and the switch down here. Now that switch, there was an important bit in the video about this. Can you see that little black dimple in the switch there? You won't see one on the other side. That is dependent on going in that way, because that's the way it's been pictured specifically in the instructions. So that's the completed board. It does work a treat. It has its moments, but then these FM transmittery things always will and always do. It hasn't got a lot of output power, so it's not going to broadcast miles. In fact, it struggles with one side of the shed to the other. I could put more voltage through it. It can go 3 to 6 volts. So enjoy the rest of the video, and here's the finished product.
Okay, so that's the final solder I made. The phone went flat, so the aerial's on. That's the aerial connection. So this is the finished board. We turn it on, we get the power on light, and I have tested it. It does work. So there's my UV5R Baofeng.
1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 testing 1 2.
So we're currently transmitting on 102.5. So there you have it. It does suggest using a meter length of cable, but I've stuck this spare antenna on there, which will fold down quite nicely. So that'll be going on to the shelf of success. Ta-da! Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I shall see you in the next Down the Shed.